Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Tuesday, the 15th of September. I hope your week is starting well. And hi, I'm Paul. I will be your host today. In the news today, the Betfred Super League could be decided by points percentage, whatever that means. Lydia Ko finished well in the golf, but Tim Wilkinson faded a little bit. The captain of the Wellington Phoenix has left by mutual consent. There are several players who suggest they might not, or it's suggested that several players might not travel to Australia for the Rugby Championship. We have a historic win at the US Open and in the Tour de France. It's a rest day, but we still have action in Tirreno Adriatico and the Giro Rosa in cycling. Kicking off with that football news, Captain Stephen Taylor will be leaving, or is leaving, Wellington Phoenix by a mutual consent. They haven't actually said what the reason is for the Englishman leaving with 2 years left on his contract. However, you've got COVID and the impact that has on player salaries in the A-League probably has a part to do with this. Currently, the clubs and the Players Association are in negotiations around salaries, which could see the salaries being cut by as much as 30% due to the reduced broadcast deal that they have over there in the A-League. Moving on then to the golf at the ANA Inspiration. Lydia Ko finished tied sixth overall at 10 under par, 5 shots off the lead. It was end up being a playoff between 3 players, Lee, Henderson, and Corda, and Lee won the playoff between the 3 of those. So congratulations to her. Over in the Safeway Open, Tim Wilkinson had a relatively poor fourth round, finish with 1 over par in that one, finishing at 12 under and tied at 36 overall in the Safeway Open. I'm going to hand you over to Stephen now, who's going to take us through our birthdays.
Thank you, Paul, and good morning to everybody tuning into New Zealand Sports Radio. And birthdays today, a highly decorated New Zealand women's cricketer, a very hard-nosed All Black prop, and finally a very, very good all-around cricketer who played for the Black Caps, and that's where we start. This morning, Nathan Esther, born this day, the 15th of September, 1991, in Christchurch, was a former professional cricketer. Now, he was a right-handed batsman who plays as an opener in ODIs and also in the middle order in test matches. In a career that spanned 12 years, Esther played 81 tests and 223 ODIs, accumulating 4,702 runs and 7,090 runs respectively. Esther also collected 154 wickets as a medium-paced bowler at international record level. He holds 2 records: the fastest double century in Test cricket and the second highest individual score in the 4th innings. Both records were achieved when he made 222 against England. Who'd ever forget that? And the second highest individual score in the 4th innings of a Test match. So a pretty good all-round sportsman. He also played. He was also a footballer who played at a reasonable level. So there you go, Nathan Esther. Moving right along, John Ashworth, born at the state the 15th of September 1949 in Waikari in the Canterbury region, is a former New Zealand rugby player. Now, he was a prop. He represented Canterbury and briefly Hawke's Bay at provincial level and was a member of the All Blacks side from 77 to 1985. He played 52 matches for the All Blacks, including 24 internationals. That's John Ashworth. And finally, Emily Drum, born this day, the 15th of September 1974 in Auckland, is a retired cricketer who played for the White Ferns. Now, She also captained New Zealand in 41 one-day internationals, winning 28 of them, losing 12 with no result. Drum also captained New Zealand to their greatest ODI success, winning the 2000 Women's Cricket Cup in the 2000-2001 season. Drum has also played in five test matches, scoring 433 runs in 6 innings with an average of 144.33, the high score of 161 not out. She obviously knew how to get a lot of runs. In her 96 ODIs, she averaged 32.94 runs. Drum has also set the record for most runs on a single ground in an ODI history. Now, that was basically done at the Burt Sutcliffe Oval down at Lincoln. So pretty amazing player. She also played for Auckland Hearts and the Northern District Spirits in the State League. Now, in the 2006 New Year's Honours List, Drum was appointed a member of the Order of Merit for services to cricket. That's Emily Drum. I want to wish them all the very best. That's Emily Drum, John Ashworth, and also Nathan Esther. Back to you, Paul.
Wow, sounds like Emily Drum was a fantastic cricketer, and looks like but only 3 test matches. It shows you how few games the women get. Imagine what she could have achieved if she had more games. But anyway, I hope they all have a wonderful day and all have some wonderful cake as well. Always love a bit of cake myself. Moving on then to the Rugby Union. And in the Rugby Union, the Rugby Championship, obviously, as we've all heard, is going to be held in Australia. Basically, there's obviously been a lot of press about this, but just to read out what the CEO, the New Zealand CEO, said. Look, Suns are ultimately determined that based on government-required quarantine protocols for entry and training prior to the tournament and commercial underwriting, the Rugby Australia's submission was the most desirable and workable in terms of tournament logistics for the essential pre-tournament preparation period and 6-week tournament itself. So. I guess the point I can try to sort of point out here is it was a bidding process. It wasn't taken away from New Zealand or anything like that. So, but yes, some interesting headlines around that one. But due to this move over to Australia, there are 3 players rumoured to be considering not heading over. Those are basically Richard Mo'unga, Bowden Barrett and TJ Perenara were 3 players in that decision-making area, and including both first fives in the squad. Mo'unga and his wife recently had their first child, whilst Barrett expecting his first child in the next month. TJ Perenara also has a newborn as well. Yeah. So the on that one. Moving on then to the cricket, and in the cricket, an amazing Australian collapse allowed England to win the second one-day international. England scored 231 in their 50 overs. Australia were cruising and until with a century stand between Finch and Labuschagne, but then an amazing collapse basically saw the Australia collapse and get all bowled out for 207 in that one. So that evens the series 1-all overall in that one there. I'm going to hand you back to Stephen now. He's going to take us through our NRL update.
Thank you, Paul. In the league news this morning, Warriors forwards Elias Katoa and Siletino Ravutomara granted exemptions to return home. And in the Betfred Super League, will that be decided on percentages? Let's look at the story this morning. Final positions in the regular Betfred Super League season in 2020 will be determined by points percentage, the Rugby League has announced. For the first time since the introduction of the Super League in 1996, the number of points gained will not be the deciding factor in final placings, although the title will be determined by a 4-team playoff. The move acknowledges the real possibility that not all clubs will be able to play the same number of matches before the end of the season due to the effects of COVID-19. So far, there are 6 league fixtures to rearrange, with 6 of 11 clubs having players who have tested positive for COVID-19. The RFL is bracing itself for more disruption. The radical changes will be introduced immediately, and in the revised table, Catalan Dragons are the new leaders, displacing reigning champions St. Helens. The RFL says to qualify for the playoffs, a team must have a minimum of 15 matches, although it retains the right to review the stipulation. In another move that recognised potential strain on the Super League's playing squads during the crisis, the RFL has also relaxed the salary cap for the 2020 season. We'll follow that story with plenty of interest. A bit of Warriors news before I go. Star forward Eliasa Katoa is set to return to New Zealand with the Warriors when they fly back from Australia in May. Katoa teammate Celestino Ravutamara both granted exemptions by Australia border authorities to travel with the squad to their base resumption of their 2020 campaign. That's a nice bit of sun coming in this morning. But in July, the New Zealand government informed the club that neither will be allowed to re-enter the country when this season ends at the end of September due to the COVID-19 restrictions, which prevent non-New Zealand citizens from entering the country. Last month, Warriors Chief Executive Cam George confirmed that Ravutamara had been given an exemption to re-enter New Zealand, and now Katoa has also been given the necessary border clearance to return home. Surgery for a hand injury will prevent Katoa from playing in either the Warriors' final 2 fixtures against the Raiders and the Sea Eagles. Meanwhile, Eels lone player Daniel Alvaro and George Jennings have said their goodbyes to their temporary teammates at the Warriors camp on Monday. And speaking of the Warriors, that Warriors team for the Raiders game named later today, and we'll have that for you tomorrow morning, as we will with more league news, and somebody else will be having a birthday tomorrow. That's it from me. Exit stage right. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And yes, as Hugh says, ice cream cake is the best cake. Wow, I've never had an ice cream cake, but have to take your word on that one. Personally, I'm a chocolate cake sort of person. What's your favorite cake, Stephen?
I've got to say, in terms of cake, I really do like a really good banana cake and a carrot cake. Are my favorite cakes, but I have tasted an ice cream cake. It's absolutely sensational. But you've got to just let it. Oh, you just got to let the ice cream melt a little bit, you know. So it's great.
Fantastic. Thank you, for Stephen, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Moving on then to the where am I? I've gone blank. To the cycling, as we said, it is the rest day in the Tour de France after Egan Bernal had a shocker yesterday over in the Giro Rosa, and Lizzie Banks won stage 4 with Annemiek van Vleuten retaining the lead there. What I'm quickly trying to find out is how Kiwi rider Michaela Harvey is going, because she was 4th overall after stage 3 in that one. We'll bring you up to date tomorrow with how Michaela is going in the Giro Rosa. Over in the which for those you don't know, is the biggest women's stage race of the season. Over at the Torino Andresico, which is the warm-up race for the Giro d'Italia and the Valletta Espana, the 2 other Grand Tour races. Simon Yates, the English rider, won that race ahead of Geraint Thomas, who finished 3rd, and Rafa Majka, the Polish rider for Bora Hansgrohe, finishing 3rd in that one. So some riders showing good form ahead of those other Grand Tours that are coming up. In the NBA, the Nuggets beat the Clippers 111-98 to tie that series 3-all. So that's going to go down to a decider now. This is the last of the conference semi-final series that is still live. We will see how. So that means that they will have a day off and then they'll be playing on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. What's that going to be? It's Tuesday New Zealand time. Also, the Heat versus the Celtics will kick off on Tuesday as well. Kick off their conference final in the Eastern Conference. And we have brought. Thank you for everyone for this best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. Yes, we missed out on the gymnastics news there. And in gymnastics, they've loosened the rules now so that female athletes can perform in shorts now rather than leotards. This one, which makes obviously makes sense. They're obviously form-fitting shorts in that one. So previously, the athletes had points deductions for incorrect apparel. So the we'll see. Good to see that gymnastics is making moves in the right direction there. The men obviously perform in long trousers in the gymnastics on that one. So why can't the females do a similar thing over in that one? Yes, you have now started the day the best way, up to speed with all the important sports news. Have a wonderful day today, everybody. Aaron, they're going with tiramisu for his favourite cake on that one. But by the sounds of it, if you do have some of his tiramisu, please do not drive afterwards, as there's so much Baileys in there. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and do join us tomorrow at 7 a.m. for the morning sports briefing, and this evening at 8 p.m. for our basketball show, where Daniel will go through all of the action that's been happening in the playoffs in the NBA.